Good afternoon, everyone. Today I will talk about İşin Olsun. İşin Olsun is the first job app dedicated to blue-collar segment in Turkey. It's a product of Kariyer.net. So let me just, give you a flavor about Kariyer.net for those who are not familiar with the with it. Kariyer.net is the biggest job board in Turkey, biggest job platform, if it works. Try again. Okay. So it's the first in the market. It was founded 19 years ago. So it's an old company. And we have the biggest candidate pool, 25 million CVs of 16 million candidates. We have posted 2.4 million jobs over the course of last 19 years. And we have served 90,000 clients, paying clients. And we have also the highest traffic among all the other job boards in Turkey, 25 million monthly traffic, more than 100 million page views. So you may ask why we decided to launch another product, although we were dominant in the Turkish market. So let me give you the context. So Turkey, as you know, it's a big country with 80 million population, and out of this 80 million population, 40% are eligible to work, so which makes 32 million. And we have a high unemployment rate, more than 10%. And if we do the math, we have around 3.3 million unemployed. And compared to OECD average, we have twice as high as the OECD unemployment rate. As I said, it's 10.8%. So therein lies the problem for us, because, again, it doesn't work. So first of all, 2/3 of these unemployed people were blue-collar segments in which we had limited penetration. As you see, the bottom end of the pyramid shows the blue-collar segment, and the light gray shaded area is the unemployed persons. And in which we had very limited penetration, which is illustrated by the small purple triangle. So Kariyer.net was more dominant on the mid and up end of the pyramid, which are gray colors and white colors. And this is one side of the medallion, and the other side of the medallion, we had the employers. And within 1.8 million employers in Turkey, again, the bottom end of the pyramid, which shows the employers of the blue-collar segment, in which we had limited penetration because these employers were basically non-digitalized. So these are the two problems we were facing with. And why is that? What was the reason why they were not using Kariyer.net or any other online recruitment solution for their recruitment needs? Basically, these people, both employers and employees, they prefer traditional methods. To illustrate, this is an example. They place a sticker on their shops in order to recruit an employee. Of course, this was, the first reason, but we went deeper into the matter, and we ran a consumer research in order to better understand the insights behind this reason. For the candidates, basically blue-collar candidates are, they pay attention to location because their employers do not pay for their commuting fees. So that's why location of the job is very critical. Speed is very critical because they don't have a saving account in a bank, so they have to find a job ASAP. And also, they don't have a CV, but of course, most likely, all the job boards are asking them to fill a CV. They are looking for a job, not for a career. And when it comes to employer, again, speed is very critical, and they don't have an HR department. These are, small offices, SOHOs, and small enterprises. So they're looking for a hassle-free job posting, and they don't have time for assessment. And finally, of course, you would guess that they are quite, cost-conscious. So the cost of recruitment is also a critical factor for them for recruitment. So with these insights, we decided to launch another product because we saw that, Kariyer.net is not a solution to address the blue-collar segment, and we launched İşin Olsun, the first job app dedicated to blue-collar segment in Turkey. İşin Olsun, the motto translation is basically, it means get a job or find a job. How it works, it's quite simple. We basically develop the product in sync with the consumer insight of the employers and the employees. First of all, we don't ask job seekers to prepare a CV. They can just, prepare their profile in a single minute. There are very few spaces that they have to fill. They can job search by location, as you would remember, the location is very critical for them. And also there is call me functionality, so they can access the employer just by calling them. And for employers, again, in sync with their insights, they can post their job in a minute. They can text and call candidates. Speed is very critical, so they don't have to wait for the applications. And there is no job post fee, so it's free of charge. Let me show you the screens. It's quite, it's user-friendly for the job seekers. What he has to do or she has to do, they can search for appropriate jobs. You see an example here. They can view the details if they click on a job post, and they can just fill this simple registration form as a final step. And for the employers, again, it's very simple. They just fill this description form. It takes only 1 minute. They can publish and share, and finally, they can view the applications, and if they like, they can reach the candidate via instant messaging or by calling them. And the results, the application was very well embraced by the market. We launched it in July last year, so it's been only 10 months, but we exceeded 1.5 million downloads in Turkey. We have more than 500,000 active users, and we had, over the course of last 10 months, more than 3 million applications. Every month, we have 16,000 new job posts on our platform. And in 10 months, we exceeded 180,000 job posts. And finally, currently, we have more than 50,000 active job posts on our platform. It's very user-friendly, and this is well appreciated by the users. So we ranked number 2 in Google Play Store. By the way, the number 1 is CarierNet. So we now occupy the first 2 place with 2 products. And also, in-app star rate is quite high, 4.7 over 5. And of course, the most important factor, it works. 90,000 people were recruited through İşin Olsun over the course of last 10 months. So it means that every month we're just helping 9,000 people to find a job through our İşin Olsun application, which is 50% of the job posts were filled through our İşin Olsun application. So you may ask, okay, Fatih, but what about the monetization? In fact, this is a relevant question for a standalone job app, but in our case, it's not a standalone app. It's a complementary product. The main mother brand is CarierNet, so this is a second brand that supports our main brand benefit. But nevertheless, we have direct and indirect monetization tools, which we haven't started to monetize yet. What are the direct monetization tools? First of all, there is an applicant tracking system embedded into our product. So this helps our employers to take care or to handle their recruitment process. It's not charged, but we plan to charge for it. In Europe, all the ATS companies are charging for the usage. Secondly, if you want to prioritize your ads, again, we have this ability, so you can just prioritize your ad if you like. And also, as we have an increasing traffic, this will also be another window of opportunity, if we start selling advertising. And also, we have the indirect monetization tools. First of all, these are, especially the top clients, also they started to use our application in addition to CarierNet. So we believe that these, part of these small offices, home offices will be upgraded to CarierNet. Also, this is going to be a new stickiness tool, with increased loyalty for our brand. So, what is the vision? What is the next step? Basically, what we want is to take the final sticker out of the window and fully democratize and digitalize the blue-collar segment. That's all from my part. Thanks for your interest.